what's confusing. It's not people who went and seen the movie and said, "Oh, I didn't like it." Oh, those are fair criticism. It's the people who haven't seen it who talk in that mess that you just brought up. And the reason I mentioned those two characters is because we hadn't seen them before this. They got a golden opportunity in this movie that they have not gotten anywhere else. Now the whole world knows who they are.
Absolutely.
You know. But, yeah, the Shuri character was my favorite character, and I know a lot of people are saying the M'Baku character is it. I know more black folks, or people, period. I don't want to segregate, but we are going to get into, you're going to hear me using that word black a lot, and whoever that offends, so be it. Especially when we get to this Omaha and Empress and her offended and all that. I'm probably going to offend her some more before we're done, but it's all going to be facts. No, I've lost. What did I say before that?
We were saying how, oh gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know what's going on. I'm losing my train of thought. You were saying.
I know what I was saying.
Yeah.
I've had more people talking about every character besides T'Challa, besides the star.
Yes.
And he gave a brilliant performance.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it was
brilliant.
Absolutely. I agree. Totally. I think his performance
but that's not the person. It's kind of like people expect, oh, well, you're the star, you're supposed to perform like that. But they're not talking about it, per se. It's like they're talking about almost every other character besides him. And particularly those two that we just mentioned.
Yes. Now, can we go into a little historical preview of what the Black Panther is, where it comes from, where this actual character was grafted from? Can we kind of go a little back and kind of talk about that?
Absolutely. And not to, I don't want to sound aggressive here, but Empress is listening.
Empress,
yes. The fact is, Wakanda, which is known in many languages, or Wakanda with a T, which is known in one language, was real. It's not out of the imagination of Stan Lee. It was real, is real. The Black Panther is not from Africa. Your friend was correct on that.
Yes.
It's from the Americas.
The Americas, exactly.
It's from the Americas.
Yes. And
Turtle
she was
Island.
Yes.
American. Because jaguars and
there's no jaguars. There's no jaguars. Yeah, there's no jaguars or panthers anywhere. The Americas have panthers and jaguars. Absolutely.
Right. Pictures. If your audience seen the pictures that I had sent you when you asked me, they can see from the Olmec civilization. I don't play games with words. Y'all can play melanated, brown, blah blah blah. That's fine. Which was a black civilization. Well, I didn't say the Aztecs. I said the Olmecs.
Yes.
Okay, for you get, Mexican people call it, wait a minute, the Olmecs, not the
Olmecs.
Aztecs.
Exactly, okay. The Olmecs. Thank you.
We're a black civilization in Mexico. And there are a shamanistic order called Kings that dress up just like the Black Panther. And they had civilization. People think we're living in an advanced civilization now, and in a lot of ways we are. But we're not. We haven't lived. There's been, as your audience, many of advanced civilizations. And Wakanda, there's a park in South Dakota go in the Olmec today. Today, name Wakanda Park.
Yes.
There's a town in Illinois. Name what? There's a place in Wisconsin. Name Wakanda. So we're not talking about, oh, Stan creative. Stanley cooked a meal. And as far as tying it to Africa, with the Dora Milaje, as I sent you, are the Dahomey warriors from Ghana, what's known today as Ghana. The real Amazons from the one. And now that is from Africa.
Can you say the tribe again so everyone
Okay.
here? Wait, can you? Wait, hold.
No.
Hold on. I'm getting some weird now. Oh my gosh. Now, Mr. Corey, you may know about this, but I'm getting some weird sounds in my room, like buzzing sounds. Like I said, I think this conversation is really causing a buzz in all arenas. I've never heard a sound like this in my left ear before. Only with you, Mr. Corey, does this happen to me. You get like the weirdest. I get the weirdest contact with you, Mr. Corey. What's going on, Mr. Corey? I think you're gonna disclose some more information tonight, because I'm already hearing sounds in my left ear. Okay, so yes, so you were saying. I don't
know, but yeah, the Dahomey warriors. That's who the Dora Milaje is after.
From Ghana, that actually exist. They existed. Yes.
Yes. They fought against British colonists.
And that's who they got these warrioress women from.
Right. And the person who said, well, they were offended because of tribal affiliation with Omaha and also with the Ponky and the Osage, I bet they couldn't. That sounds like something they just typed into Google or was told. If they were truly offended, I bet they couldn't go any further, other than what they said, what they told you about it.
I agree.
They don't know that it has several different meanings, and also since Wakanda is black people, black civilizations, the real first Native Americans, copper-colored people, as written in every historical context, every United States book, the copper-colored people, not red, copper-colored, okay? That word also has roots in Watusi language. The Black Panther also has roots in Africa as part of the Bandung, which is called the African Leopard Society, called the Agassi.
Agassi. Mm-hmm.
Because, as you know, this is all due to Pangea.
Pangea. Yes, yes.
And all we did was just walk.
When there was no separation,
really,
when the continents were all connected. That's before the breaking apart of the different geographical ley lines.
Thank you. Thank you. And so that's where the Black Panther comes from. Not out of Stan Lee's wonderful imagination. He didn't create that any more than Magneto and Mr. X are modeled after Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. And now he's finally admitting it. It only took him, he's almost 100. And now he's finally saying it out loud.
What do you think he's disclosing now?
Because he's probably tired of looking foolish and the obvious. You know, when they say it's never too late, you know, to learn, I guess they really mean it, because he's almost, 100.
Oh, wow. That's true. Wow. Already.
And there's statues of the Black Panther that I sent you, those pictures. They're found all over Florida, Mississippi, Alabama. They've been found. Okay? All over. The word Tuscaloosa, Alabama, means black warrior. That's what that word means.
Are
Does
you
not
listening?
mean red warrior, it means black warrior.
Is everyone listening? It's almost like, it's the same debauchery that happened with ancient Egypt, calling it Egypt, which is a generic name. It's a colonized name where it's called ancient Kemet. Yeah, it's ancient Kemet, which meant black. So, it's interesting that words are changed, the phonetics of words are changed purposefully to give a false visual or a characteristic that does not exist, to kind of pull the wool over people's eyes, so that if they didn't know, they would just presume that that was the truth that was being now detailed in a fabricated way.
Exactly. And of course, the advanced technology, we already talked about them. It just depends on the civilization you're in and the time period what their name gets called, but we know their popular name. When you're watching the Black Panther and you're seeing their advanced ships and their advanced weapons and their tech and all that good stuff.
Well,
Wakanda was real.
Yes.
And the Black Panther was real.
Yes. But can we get into the actual, remember they were disclosing the chemical, the actual mineral source that they had been utilizing vibranium to be able to enhance their technology, not only to enhance their technology, but also to utilize as a superconductor for their genomes themselves. It was in their clothes. Remember, they said it was in everything that they had was this vibranium. And they said that because they were rich in this particular mineral source, which was in itself galactic in origin, it allotted them a higher sense of consciousness, also a less limited way of thinking. It not only enhanced their technology, their ability for technology, but their capability of creating the technology with this particular substance. Can we
creating new technologies with the source of the vibranium? Yes, that Captain America's shield is made out of, and the god Claw, one of the villains, not the main villain, the one with the one arm. His arm was also made from the.
Oh yes, it was.
Vibranium.
He made a weapon out of the arm. It was kind of like that Quentin Tarantino with Rose McGowan when she had a leg that was like she was made like half mechanic. In the Quentin Tarantino movie, when Rose McGowan had a piece of material on her arm like a weapon. I thought that was actually brilliant how they did that, though. The weaponry, the technology. See, this is what I loved about the movie. It wasn't so far-fetched that it was past anything that could be reality. Everything was so touchable. It was so conceivable and perceivable that it actually blew my mind.
And all of it real. That's why it resonated with you. This wasn't something that was a roll of the eyes, like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh no.
It was like, oh yeah, I can see that being done.
Absolutely.
Or already have been done once before.
Absolutely. I think it was amazing. Now, what was interesting in the movie is the concept, and we discussed this. I guess should I push forward a little bit and get into the conflict from what we consider to be the Africano, who was adverse, basically, which the gentleman said in one of the videos. What's his name? I forgot his name. RFG.
Oh, that you sent me.
Yeah, I sent you. He's a YouTuber. He was hostile.
Killmonger was the real hero.
Yeah, he's a Killmonger.
Like T'Challa.
It's crazy. He really went in. Yes, he really went in on him. I mean, he really had such an adverse. He actually thought that the golden jaguar was the hero of the story because he was the original Americano. And he was there to free the chains because apparently in Marvel Comics, Black Panthers was against the KKK. He actually fought against racism that was in the original Marvel Comics, to my knowledge. Is that correct? He was a freedom fighter.
The Black Panther, Stan Lee quote unquote, just for lack of a better word, quote unquote, created the Black Panther comic in July of '66. The Black Panther Party was officially started that following October, same year. So the comic actually came a little bit first. And when the Black Panther Party happened, Stan Lee he started putting elements of the quote unquote, civil rights movement and stuff.
Okay.
And he had the Black Panther fighting KKK, yes.
Okay, because a lot of people, I think...
It wasn't the Golden Jaguar.
Well, that's the thing about it. It seemed like RFG was really piloted in bringing that aspect into it, saying that it was Black Panther against the Golden Jaguar, and the Golden Jaguar was supposed to represent the Americano, the one who was supposed to fight off all of white supremacy on the entire planet, and that it was really selfish that Wakanda was isolating themselves away from humanity and not extending themselves past their comfort zone to extend their technology and their resources to those who were being oppressed. He felt a certain way, but even in his character, he was coming from such a low, victimized, abused, rejected field that it was hard for me to have too much empathy for him because he was so venomous and so egregious and so aggressive and abusive, especially to the divine feminine in that movie. He had no respect for the women in that movie at all. And we never even heard about what happened to his mother. We only saw an aspect of the father being related to the king. But we never really saw the mother's presence or her lack of presence, which I felt was something that we kind of missed in the story. It was like that missing piece that needed to be kind of understood.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a few missing pieces. I mean, I still want to know how he knows to take Claw's body to Wakabi.
Yes.
How did he know that Claw was responsible for his parents' death?
Yes.
And to take his body literally to his footsteps and drop it in front of him. That is a major plot. That's not a minor. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have this movie at an A-, B+. Okay. But that's one of that's a major one. That is not even. Some of the fight scenes are minor nitpicks, but that one to me is major.
You're right.
Because that's how he gets into Wakanda.
Yes, but who taught him that?
They're putting on the front that Wakanda is a third world country. So they're kind of Wakabi and that guy's kind of like the gatekeeper. They're standing in front of these little huts when really behind them is all this technology. And to get in and gain his trust, he drops the body that his buddy T'Challa couldn't get for him. That's why he stays with him even when he sees T'Challa still alive, because he was mad at T'Challa because he couldn't get Claw and bring him back home so he could avenge his parents' death.
But you know what? He found the book. Remember when he was buried and he went to the ancestral realm? Remember his father said, I told you not to go behind there and look at stuff that's not yours. Remember he said that? He looked in that book his father kept.
Oh, the label. Yeah, but at that time, Wakabi either wouldn't have been alive or would have been a kid. I don't know why he would single him out in that. But anyways, to answer your question about the Killmonger character and what the guy in the YouTube video was talking about, there's two different aspects and discussions going on with black folks about that character. Number one is what he said. It's people saying, well, he was a real hero, but the movie is sending subliminals to us to beat down the real black man by making him that way, choking out a 91-year-old elder woman.
Yeah.
He shot, if that wasn't his girlfriend, at least his lack of a better term, his fuck buddy, he shot her in the head.
He did. He had a lack of love for the divine.
When they finished, he put a bullet in her head after telling her it was going to be okay.
Yeah.
Then Shuri is his cousin, and he was getting ready to harm her after he killed a member of the Dora Milaje. He slit her throat.
Mm-hmm.
And people can argue about, well, this was the real hero. What is real about burning all?
Mr. Corey?
And he's like, I don't care. There's not going to be any after me. Burn them all. I said, and then chokes her and says, that sounds like an abusive man.
It does.
What did I tell you to do?
Exactly.
I told you and picked her up off her feet.
Well, someone said T'Challa is representing the Boule. Someone said that Hermes Ra said T'Challa is representing the Boule in comic 33 Degree Mason. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, because and I'm not going to say I'm the biggest T'Challa fan. I could talk about that movie for an hour without even really admit all like that, to be quite honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because another sub that can legitimately be talked about is he's schmoozing up with a CIA agent.
Yes.
It's like, you know him. Remember when they're in South Korea, you already know the CIA agent who later on in the movie is blowing a ship out of the air that's taking weapons to oppress black people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At the end of the movie.
Yes.
When Shuri is telling him when he's in her lab, and he says, those weapons can't get out. Now, that's a way of looking at it. I'm in the camp of I wouldn't have wanted those weapons to go out. Even if it's to oppress people, because they're so advanced, oppressed are probably poor. We don't know what they're going to do with those type of weapons.
No.
They can be sold.
Absolutely.
They can be stolen.
Used against each other.
And T'Challa, while that's right. Just because somebody's poor don't mean their character is fantastic.
Absolutely.
So in a way, I agree with that, but I can see what people are talking about. Now, if you're going to defend Killmonger, despite those behaviors, and say he's still a hero, you got issues.
I agree with you.
If you're going to say, well, look here, they made the pro-black one look bad, and that's my beef by all those things that I just said, to take away from the fact that he was trying to arm up oppressed black people with advanced weapons so they could fight them. That's a legitimate argument.
Absolutely.
But the illegitimate one is if you say, well, I've had a woman tell me that, I said, well, explain why he choked the elder out. This is a black woman. She says, well, she was treasonous.
What?
I said, what the
See,
hell?
that's why these civilizations would be cloaked. That's why Wonder Woman's world and this world are cloaked, because that kind of mentality, that kind of consciousness is the reason why a lot of ETs don't mess with us. They don't want to mess with us. For that one reason, that she could justify a man choking out an older woman who's there to cultivate something to bring forth ancestral contact. Who does that? But a heathen, but a savage. And I can call him that because his behavior pattern from being hurt, from being rejected, and also being omitted from his right to his people made him hostile and savage.
Yep.
And because he had that already in his core, that was something that he now took on as a personality, as a characteristic. And he no longer could be trusted to lead a people to any greatness because he did not feel great within himself. Exactly.
The ideology is on point. He didn't belong on that throne, though. Even T'Challa, because then I don't know if you've heard this, and this is an easy one. Well, T'Challa is Martin Luther King, and Killmonger was Malcolm X.
What?
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm telling you what this movie has done to black people. I mean, they're all in it.
Well,
I've heard everything.
Well, this is.
And I could see.
Oh no, go ahead, Mr. Corey.
I said I could see where they get that from, but even though T'Challa it wasn't one of my favorite characters, he could move his needle closer to what Killmonger was before Killmonger could move his needle to what T'Challa was.
I agree.
See?
I agree.
And that makes him the better leader. Would I have given a more saner Killmonger a seat at the table? Sure, but not ruling a nation like that. With those type of weapons, because he doesn't have that in him.
Well, he was a murderer. He was hostile and he was a murderer. He went around killing and murdering so that he could gain enough mastery to one day overtake the kingdom.
Well, you forgot, he also went to MIT. He also went to MIT and was a engineer.
I did. Oh, wow. He had the intellectual. Now we get into the hybriding.
He wasn't like that.
That's true.
He went to MIT and was an engineer and fought in I don't think it was Vietnam. I forgot what he fought in. It might have been Desert Storm or whatever.
And you know what? You're correct. But this is where we get into hybridism. And when hybrids have a higher sense of intellectual astuteness, meaning they're just very, very bright. He came from a very technologically advanced people who were superseded.
Yeah, from his father's side.
Absolutely. So he did have that cognitive ability.
And blood.
Yes. That's something that's like a sidebar.
Blood. Remember, he's from the same tribe that T'Challa's from.
That's right.
Their dads are brothers.
That's right. Now, when we
that's why he was the Golden Jaguar.
Yes. But now we get into the conversation, Mr. Corey. How is this similar to somewhat, if we're comparing to stories of the Anunnaki? Is there any likeness to these stories and Inky and Neil and Leal?
Now, your friend asked me, or not necessarily asked me, you could always derive, if you want to, you could always find something in that story. I mean, T'Challa and Killmonger are first cousins, and Inky and Enlil are half brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So you could now, even though this is a little reaching, genetically speaking, of first cousin and half sibling is the same as a first cousin.
Yes, it is.
Genetic biological.
That's why we could draw the two. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So if you wanted to go there, but I don't know if you wanted to. No, there's not really a comparison because you would have to make Inky T'Challa, and you would have to make
Enlil
Killmonger Enlil,
and that wouldn't work. No, it wouldn't work.
And Enlil, and see, Enlil had no desire to free oppressed people.
No, not at all.
I want to keep them ignorant.
Control. That was his thing.
He's a military general. He wanted to keep them ignorant. It was Inky who said, no, these are my creations. I'm going to tell them X, Y, and Z. And see, T'Challa before the end, didn't even want to tell anybody anything.
No, not at all.
You really couldn't draw this to them. You could connect their technology to the Anunnaki,
Yes.
You could say, this is kind of their story. And how they chose their kings is exactly how the Anunnaki chooses their kings.
So
exactly.
Oh wait, so Vanjie says Inky would be Jadaka and Leal will be T'Challa. What's your take?
Oh no, the father and son?
That's what no, Vanjie just stated that. She said that's her opinion. Enki would be Njadaka and Leal would be T'Challa.
T'Chaka is the father of T'Challa.
Anu is the father. That's what Vanjie said. Yes. But Anu is can you explain what Anu really is, Mr. Corey? It's a title.
Anu, well, first of all, Anu is a title. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you his real name, but Anu is a title, and he was Inky and Enlil's father. The most accurate version of that you would get is Thor.
Oh, Thor, yes.
That's almost a cut and paste, almost.
Oh, Najobi.
Okay,
Najobu
they made
is the
Loki
father.
adopted.
You're right, Banji.
When Inky really is, Inky's not adopted, but he's an outsider because he's a half breed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Enlil is the favorite. Was Anu's favorite because he's married to Enlil's mother.
And she was full-blooded Anunnaki.
The favorite.
Yeah. Not the Snake Queen.
Pardon me?
And she's full-blooded Anunnaki.
No. The Snake Queen is Inky's mother,
yes.
and Orion Queen.
Yes.
Because I don't see the connection that she's speaking of.
Okay.
Because if she's saying T'Chaka, which is T'Challa's father, the one who killed Killmonger's father, his own brother, okay?
Yes.
T'Chaka, for T'Challa to be Inky, he would have wanted to share knowledge that he wasn't supposed to. Because that's what Inky was doing.
Inky was trying.
T'Challa, the majority of the movie, remember when he went and found Lupita Nyong'o's character, his woman, he told those Africans, don't talk about us. You didn't see us.
Oh, yes.
He wanted to stay secret. Yeah, remember when the lady told him, don't freeze when you see your woman.
That's right.
You usually freeze up because he loves her.
Yes.
and he told those Africans, don't
tell a word.
Don't mention us.
Yeah, don't say anything.
They had seen all that. Yeah, don't tell us.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be Inky.
Who's Jadaka?
I don't see the connection.
Oh no, she's asking who's Jadaka?
Jadaka.
Njadaka. Njadaka? Is that the name? Oh, it's Killmonger. Okay, no, she's giving his name as Killmonger. That's who he was. Njadaka is Killmonger. That's what she said when she was describing who the brothers were reminiscent of, who was Enlil and Inky. She's just saying that's who Killmonger, that's his name. Jadaka. And Jadaka is Killmonger's name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but for him, if she sees the connection, I can't say she doesn't. You understand?
Yes.
But I don't see it at all because it doesn't. Now the way that they choose their kings is straight from the Anunnaki.
Yeah. Yes.
Straight
the battle for the king. Who's here to challenge?
A cut and paste. Yes, a cut and paste.
Yes.
How they choose their kings, but as far as for Killmonger or N'Jaku, whatever, to be Enlil, what he would have wanted, he wouldn't have wanted the poor oppressed people to have any weapons. He went and told on his brother Inky for telling humanity all the technological secrets and about themselves. He went and told. As a matter of fact, the very word T'Challa comes from the Anunnaki. It's the caves where Inky, it's not some African word, it's the caves where Inky was taking his creation.
And cultivating them.
Things.
Yes.
That's right. And when his brother found out, Enlil, he told their father. He said he's telling them stuff he's not supposed to. The Killmonger character wanted people to have knowledge, wanted them to have the tech. So I don't see the connection at all.
Yes. Okay. I think it's just miscommunication because of how I'm reading it on the screen. Okay, so let's go a little further. So we have these characters that show up. Mm-hmm. Now, what I loved, which I really connected with, and I think everyone knows me in this way, I always talk about the ancestral realm, and I got chills. I don't know about anybody else, but I got chills when they buried him when he was going to visit his father for the first time that had passed. and he went to the ancestral realm.
And all them Black
And the
Panthers
Black Panthers were on the tree. Oh, listen, I'm sorry, family. I had chills all up my spine. I felt like I felt goddess right then and there. There was such a remembrance. There was such I was witnessing what it is. And this is how we're so disconnected, because that is why they kill all the trees. That's why we're not allowed to be buried. I've talked about this. I know, Mr. Corey, I'm getting loud. You know, I'm getting passionate about this. This is why they don't bury the dead with their blood in their body. They don't allow your skin and your blood to touch the soil to go to visit your ancestral realms through the trees. Corey, can you get into that? I'm sorry. I'm getting passionate here. I'm getting really fanatical. That touched me. And I always knew there was a problem with that. Mr. Corey's used to this, everyone. Our conversations are long. He knows I'm going to get hyped up about certain things. But I really had when I saw that they were doing this, I loved this, because I've been talking about it for years, why they keep embalming people, switching out the blood and putting a chemical in your body, then putting you in a box, a wooden box, sealed from air. Who's touching you in the air? What does it matter that your body touches the air and the soil? You're supposed to go in the soil to reestablish yourself with the ancestral realms through the trees. Okay, Mr. Corey, can you go in? I'm sorry. I'm getting loud. I'm having another great.
Well, I'll say this, since you don't, really follow the comics.
No, I don't.
T'Challa is not the only Black Panther. There were Black Panthers before him.
Yes.
One dealt with Captain America back in the 30s. Because that's how Captain America got his body.
That's right.
Captain America went into a sleep for decades, 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
He was on ice, literally. And he dealt with the Black Panther way back in the 30s, but it wasn't T'Challa.
Oh.
Okay? So when he went there, his father was the Black Panther before him, and then there were Black Panthers. So he was talking, that's when he takes the herb, because he can connect with all of those Panthers before that, even when he's still alive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's real as well. It's a plant in South America
that exists.
And the jaguars sit and eat, and everything gets heightened in them.
From South America, family.
But, yeah, in South America. And it's a plant, and it's shaped like a heart. It's green, though.
It's not purple.
They've done nothing but just regurgitate real stuff and keep giving Stan Lee too much credit, way too much credit. But yes, that scene was very powerful.
That was
especially when he found out what happened, when he went back and he found out what happened, and they wanted him to stay after they thought he had died, and he tells them, "No, I have to go clean up your mess.
Yeah,
I clean up this mess that nobody until Forrest Whitaker's character was there in the apartment, told him he killed his own brother.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And that
Killmonger's dad.
And I think where everything kind of got lost in the sauce is Killmonger's time after his father passing. Like I said, there's so much, and they might have another Black Panther or add a little bit more to the story, because I'm really curious to how he learned about even the physical attributes of being a Panther. Remember when they were lifting? Now, can you explain what that was, that they were pulling their lips back and exposing what we call, I forgot what it's called. It's the middle of your lip. Not everybody has the same type of, it's like an extension from your lip to your bottom of your jaw.
That was a tag, huh? That was a good old-fashioned barcode. You can see that?
Oh, wait a second. Yes, when it was illuminated, I thought they were actually showing. Okay, thank you for that. So it was a barcode. I saw that one time with one of them, but with the other ones, I just saw them lift their lips. I didn't know that actually all of them had that illuminated, that code on the bottom of the lip. I thought it was a genetic predisposition that would show up when they were when they were pulling their lip back. Thank you for that. I didn't realize that. I saw at the
No,
last scene.
That lets people know they're Wakandan. That's why he pulled his lip down when he went there.
Yes.
When he went there and he took him Claw's body.
Yes. Yes. I know he knew to do that. I thought it personally. I thought it was like some sort of genetic predisposition that was showing up. I only saw the code later, and I didn't necessarily think they all had the code that was seen. But thank you for that, for verifying that. Thank you. Now.
Well, it is a genetic predisposition.
Well,
in a way, they're born with it.
That is true. That is true. They're coded, like barcoded.
Because that's how Killmonger had it. Because he wasn't born over in Wakanda.
That's right. That's right.
Because it came from his father's side.
He had the tag. That was it. It was interesting. And he can. Wow. So, what do you think about the symbolism of the two? And how do you see as even the king? Okay, let's go to the king that it was interesting that there was a lot of jokes about him barking, like they call him the ape. He's from the ape world. So there was a lot of jokes about that, which I didn't really think.
Baku?
Yes. There was a lot of denotion to the ape reference, which I really didn't really take as anything offensive. I thought it was actually his kingdom was beautiful. And it also denotes that...
I don't either, and actually, in the comics, they went PC for the movie, which they probably should have, because we're living in a PC world, but in the comics, his name is Man-Ape.
Oh, really? That's what it translates.
Yeah, they took it out and just called him M'Baku for the movie.
Okay.
His name in the comics is Man-Ape.
Oh, really? Okay. I had no clue.
And in the comics, yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's not a king. He's just the leader of his tribe.
Yes.
But I didn't see any. I love the character. Because another fantastic thing about this movie and having a damn near all black cast is you get to go places that you don't get to go when we're the token black in the movie.
Yes.
So they literally could have got away. Even though I'm kind of glad they didn't, because it would have been a distraction. But they could have called him Manny. And him and his tribe, because they worship apes, doing the ooh, ooh, ooh. You see, nothing's been said about it.
And
because you got T'Challa over here.
Yes.
You got Killmonger over here.
That's true.
Who's different. You got this. That's the beauty, and that's what we're rarely afforded.
I love that.
Because we always have to be the one in the movie, the one in the room.
And we're stereotyped. Yeah, stereotypical
right, and we
behavior.
have to represent millions of people.
Yeah.
And so, him barking like an ape, they could have put 5 black prostitutes in the movie.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have meant a word, because you're looking at the Dora Milaje, you're looking at Lupita Nyong'o's character.
Absolutely.
That's another reason that the idiots who keep crapping on the movie don't get.
There was variety.
We don't get this.
It was variety, and what I liken it to be as being an island girl, and this is what happens, I think, in the States, which I love that this movie kind of expanded everyone's consciousness past the perception of making stereotypical draw-ups of brown people up to one person. Like, everybody acts this one way. Everybody's ghetto. Everybody has a lack of class. They always do that. Even in movies that you'll see a cultivated brown person, but when they get in trouble, they always go back to like a hood kind of mentality, because that's what they want to portray. This movie allotted for more variety, and I love the fact that I tell people all the time, when Pangea was all together, there were cold regions with people of color. And someone said that's not true, and it is true. The Eskimos are my color. If you don't know, go look at the Eskimos now. The Eskimos are my color and my size. They're thicker, they have thick lips, round noses, and they look like into my look. And they live in cold regions. You know, I think this expanded the consciousness of not only brown people, but of people who perceive brown people to be a certain way. I think it gave a bigger perspective, a bigger, wider scope of how we are in so many different demographics, so many geographical locations. Our dispositions are not always alike. Actually, they're quite different based on your different tribe, based on your different tongue, based on who you've been reared by, based on your customs. I mean, that's fact. But because we've been watching television, who's only put a very small, very narrow perspective of brown people to pretty much villainize them so that the rest of the planet hates them. I found this to be such a breath of fresh air watching that. And I love that you stated that. It was beautiful to see. And I loved going when they were walking in the snow to go get help and seeing that masterful, ape in the middle. It was beautiful. I was enamored by that. And him sitting up there with his furry, his jacket.
Their place.
Yeah.
Their place was beautiful. With all them spears hanging in that blue. And
it was amazing.
And you seen what he said to T'Challa. He said, the Panthers haven't visited us. You're the first Panther to visit us in millennia.
Oh yeah. He said, y'all don't come here.
Now you want help. Now you want me to help you.
That is true. He was like, was that the one?
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wasn't that the one tribe that didn't show up for the battles? Remember they had the families, the different families that were always
came later.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They were the ones that came last, and then he did the challenge.
Later.
Okay.
He asked them for help. He asked, because remember, he was out of power because people thought he was dead.
Yes.
And to go while there's about a civil war about to break out, it'd be so much chaos going on that he really would need an army.
Absolutely.
At first, because there's so much chaos going on. And he asked M'Baku, he asked him for his people, and he said, well, I bet you.
Mr. Corey? Mr. Corey? Mr. Corey? Hold on, family. I think we lost Mr. Corey. Hold on one moment. Mr. Corey, if you're there, I don't hear you. So let me see what happened. Mr. Corey? Mr. Corey? Wow. We have it's so interesting why we have so much going on tonight. Mr. Corey, I'm going to hang you up on the line. See, can't stop, won't stop, because I have Mr. Corey's phone number. So even if they get him off the line, I'm just going to call him back. Hold on, family. Goodness gracious. Take Mr. Corey off. Mr. Corey, I'm calling you on the phone because it just shuts you off of Blog Talk.
Muted, unmuted, muted, unmuted over and over again.
Are you serious?
Yes, that's all I heard. In quietness.
Wow. It wasn't mute on this side. It was on the same thing. You just stopped and it was like white noise on this side. We're getting a lot of things and I'm getting transmissions in my left ear. All right, so let's continue. We don't want to halt it. I'm sorry. You ended at, we were talking about them going to the kingdom and asking for help and them burying, well, he decided to help them. You know what I loved about the characters in this show, though, Mr. Corey? That the men had credibility. They had integrity. He helped him because he remembered that at a time when he could have killed him,
killed him and said, I need you. Your nation needs you and your people need you.
Absolutely. He remembered that and he upheld himself to a high level of integrity and he said, listen, you saved my life. I owed him. Not that he owed him, but he felt it was righteous to do so and saved his body. I thought that was such a noble act in itself, and it was really telling.
Coming down to fight was for his country.
Absolutely.
The favor was paid back by fishing him out of the water and then by letting his mother stay there.
Yes, yes. And keeping him on ice.
For him to come down and help with what was basically a civil war, that's why I don't understand the people. Well, I understand them. And you should see some of the comments on Facebook. They're like the people, all these black men and some black women who love the Killmonger character they're ghetto and that's why they like them, or they're reckless, or they're these hoteps who don't mind abuse of women and this, that, and the other. But I've seen women. A woman is on my Facebook. I've showed you her picture. She is a direct descendant of the real Pocahontas, the real one. She has put her genealogy and done videos of the Wazoo. Okay?
I love it.
The real Pocahontas.
Mm-hmm.
She put on her wall. Eric Killmonger was the real hero.
I can't. It's amazing. It's amazing.
A black woman of that kind, and I've had inbox conversations with her. Not about this, but I mean in the past. I went on there and challenged her. This is a woman. And that's another reason this movie has just brought out stuff.
Well, shows.
I don't even know if now we're off of a quote unquote comic book movie. We're now into talking about, in a way, treatment of black women in domestic violence. Now we're into that.
Speak to it, please. Thank you. This is what I noted, and I love that you brought this up, and I love that you're seeing it and viewing it from all perspectives. What's interesting is that there is a allotment, a conditioning, a MK Ultra special that has perpetuated this hatred of brown women, that it allots for them to be abused and no one says anything, or they justify it based on them having a propensity of liking one person. So, it's okay that this brown man who's supposed to be a leader can put an older woman who's a cultivator of his own ancestor, his own father, who might have known, he's okay to put his hands on him, or he's okay with the lover that he had that he was supposed to protect and shoot her in the head because it was basically easier to shoot her than to negotiate for her. This is the antic that has been happening on this planet. No one talks about it. It is the hidden secret that is not being hidden anymore. There's a lot of hatred of the brown women, and there's a lot of brown women that hate and do not protect and do not stand up and do not honor other brown women. They would purposefully throw them under the bus if they get an opportunity. And I'm glad that it is all being aired out. Big up to the age of Aquarius. Airing out all the dirt on some of you non-divine females that would throw your brethren, your sea stars under the bus just so that you could uphold a patriarchal standard of hatred and self-loathing. That's what that shows about you. I'm sorry, Mr. Corey.
Well.
I'm sorry. That's disgusting, Mr. Corey, and I'm glad Mr. Corey knows. See, he knows. You know what I love about you, Mr. Corey? You note this. There are a lot of men who notice this, and they don't want to bring it up because they don't want to give us an edge up. They don't want to give us a. What's going on? My blog talk is cutting out. Oh wow. My blog talk just shut off. Mr. Corey, you're still there? The blog talk just shut off. I can't believe this is going on. They're just trying to shut this whole show down. Oh my gosh. I've never seen anything like this.
So what does that mean that they've shut your blog talk off?
Well, we're about to find out. It says that it was, hold on. It's just, is anyone, let me find out from anyone. Is anybody on Blog Talk right now? Can you hear? It's silent on Blog Talk right now. Can anyone hear me on Blog Talk, or is everything off Blog Talk? Can anyone? Hold on, Mr. Corey.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. No, they can't hear. All right, family. Don't worry. We don't stop. We just keep going. So I'm going to recall in Blog Talk. Hold on, Mr. Corey. We're going to go right into the show again. Can't stop, won't stop. They can continue to do this, but it is our show, and we will continue it like nothing ever happened. Let's call in.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
To start your show now, press 1.
Did you hear
to
the stutter?
important instructions, press 2. To speak to customers.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay, so we're reconnected. Are you there, Mr. Corey? Okay, let's get Mr. Corey back in here. Okay, Mr. Corey, are you in?
What is that?
What is that? Do you hear that, guys? I'm here. Oh, wait, someone's at the door. Hold on. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to answer the door. I think we've been compromised. You hear music? Do you hear the drums? Corey, do you hear the drums? Mr. Corey? Hello? Family? That's not feedback we were hearing. That was drums, and there was a beat, and there was talking on it. For all those who do the recap, I'm going to have to do the tape over. We're going to have to get the, there was somebody talking on here at the same time. It cut off Mr. Corey. It was talking at the same time. We had audio. All of the tech was going down tonight. I love that this is live on YouTube and it's live on here. So there's a testament that this happened. I mean, listen, this is what happens with Mr. Corey. This happens with Mr. Barry. This happens with Barry Littleton. This happens with a lot of people when we have these ET conversations. Yes, we're contactees, so it makes sense that we would have this. But we're getting drums. We got drum beats, which is exciting in itself. Someone said it's so much fun. I'm going to attempt to call Mr. Corey back. Mr. Corey is probably... Here he comes. I can't answer the phone call. Hold on, Mr. Corey, I gotta... When you guys think that we're playing games, when we tell you that we're contactees, there's rarely any shows that you'll ever hear contactees getting this. This is what happens with me and plenty of us all the time. And this happens more than not. I love that you actually have a perspective in what we hear. A lot of times what happens during live shows. Every glitch that was happening today was purposeful. So let me try to call Mr. Corey again, see if we can get him in. Apparently we have contact tonight. So for those who've never had contact, ET contact, this is what it feels like. And for those who are a little disconcerting, this is something that will give you more detail of how it feels. So you're fine, you're safe. Okay, so let me call Mr. Corey. And mind you, someone was knocking on my door, which I'm not opening the door. You know those like scary movies when you hear the knock on the door and people are like, oh, let me go into the door. No, if someone's knocking on my door, my mate is not here. So it's not my mate. Okay, let's call Mr. Corey. Live on YouTube and on Cypher. We've got contact, y'all. Wow. Mr. Corey? Hi, Mr. Corey. Are you okay? Am
I okay?
Oh, I'm not. No, I mean, now that you're on, I do apologize, Mr. Corey. We're having some sort of contact tonight.
Sort of contact?
Yeah.
Now remember, I mean, I can't live everybody's truth, but remember, we shouldn't always like jump the gun to that. I mean, it could legitimately just be technical difficulties.
Did you hear the drum beat? You got knocked off, Mr. Corey. You didn't hear the drum beat and the voices?
No.
Yeah.
I heard the backdrop. Yeah, I heard the voices, and then I heard the backdrop, which has happened before, where you ask a question and then I hear you ask it like 20 more times, and the same with me. I heard all that. I didn't hear any drums, though.
Yeah, they all heard the drums.
90 seconds.
They all heard the drums live. If you're calling in, family, call in now because we're having contact. You want to contact? You got it. 515-605-9881.
I just heard something say 90 seconds left.
Oh, that's actually Blog Talk. That's not extraterrestrials. Yes, everybody heard the drums, Mr. Corey. When you play this back, you're going to bug out. You'll literally bug out when you hear what we heard. Because they heard it live on YouTube and they heard it live on Cypher. You probably didn't hear it because you were on the other side. But we heard the drums and it was going to the beat of the voice. It was a beat and it was a drum and then there was voices. There were voices like a synchronized, maybe voices together doing a mantra of some sort.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've heard it before.
Well, you got you saw the UFO. I mean, we've been on the phone when weird stuff has happened before with the UFO.
Yeah, I know that. I live that. I live with that one. Trust me. But I mean, I didn't. But I heard all the blowback and can you hear that? And I didn't hear drums or all that. But if you all heard that,
seconds.
I hear this idiot in my ear with this 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Now,
she's
I don't
gonna.
hear that.
Yeah, she's gonna count down. She's finished. That's just letting people know if they want to call in, they're gonna call in now. All right, Mr. Corey. Well, I can't apologize for what I have no control over. Like I said.
Oh, no apologies.
Yeah, this is
We live
Yeah.
in a crazy world and things happen.
Absolutely. And what I noticed is that since the onset of the show, Mr. Corey, since you were on the show, there's been a lot of glitches tonight, Mr. Corey. I think some of your people might be involved in some of this.
Oh, but I've been on your show before where we haven't had glitches.
That is true.
So,
That is true. It could just be, could be a number of things. But
and we've covered, even though it's kind of sort of the same thing with different words and stuff on it, we covered a lot more intense stuff that haven't been interrupted.
That is true. That is true.
So
it's
that's
interesting.
why I always, again, y'all heard what you heard, but I never want to jump to that. But that could be, if that's what, I did hear a lot of what you just said, but I didn't hear drums and all that.
Yeah, the drums went to a beat, so it's on YouTube. It'll be interesting to hear the voices as well, because you heard the voices and not for anything. Usually everything's relative. I had the buzzing in my left ear, which was an odd sound, and I likened it to the sound. Remember the time we were supposed to talk on the phone, and I had the contact? I likened it to the same sound. Yeah, so I had that sort of sound previously with you, Mr. Corey. Well, it wasn't with you. We were supposed to talk, and that's the time I had contact with those beings. But I had that sound in my left ear. I haven't had that for a long time, and it's interesting that they came tonight, along with a host of these glitches, along with the drum beats and some voices. It's all relative. So anyway, Mr. Corey, let's go into topic. You know what? Because I don't want it to stop, and you have so much to share. So I have you've graced us tonight. We will not let the contact, because with contactees, we can't let contact stop us. So let's keep going. So, why do you think they allowed for this movie to come out right now, Mr. Corey, with Panther? What do you think their motivation is, if they have a motivation? Why do you think it's allotted to come at this moment in time in our consciousness, in our expansion of consciousness, rather?
Because we're in a time where it's time for things to be revealed.
Absolutely.
Good and bad. I don't, people may feel a certain way about the Bible, and I don't want to go into that, but in the book of Revelations, it says all things are going to be revealed. And you can't even turn on the TV nowadays without this sexual harassment, that sexual harassment, this sexual harassment, this person, that Harvey Weinstein, Bill O'Reilly, Charlie Rose,
Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones is blowing spots. You heard what Quincy Jones was talking about? Everybody. He's talking about. Yeah.
He's talking about everybody being
except himself.
Except himself.
And
what he did to Kevin Campbell and all them. Yeah, he ain't talk about that.
No, he didn't.
But anyways, that's trashy. I don't even equate to Matt Lauer, and that's just trashy. Marvin Gaye and Richard Pryor are long gone, and who gives a damn what they did?
It's true.
I mean, really, dude? You didn't have the guts to say that out loud when either one of them was still alive.
Well,
wait decades after they're dead.
Well,
that's getting off topic.
Yes.
Because all things are going to be revealed. So it's time, and Wakanda, however you want to pronounce it, however you want to say it, was real.
Absolutely.
And it's time, again, because we're doing cycles. And that knowledge was lost, it was buried, it was oppressed. Stan Lee and people like Stan Lee, who's, nothing bad about it, but your guy spoke of a Zionist Jew, he's Jewish. They know all this stuff.
They do.
And now it's time for this stuff to be known. Just like when we had our discussions on the Anunnaki 25 years ago, you would have said Anunnaki to black people, they'd have cracked up laughing.
Yeah.
Now there's so many people they done put Anunnaki in their name, they're mentioning it everywhere.
They are.
It comes
sand that's been buried under the sand in Egypt. Like I told y'all before, as a result of nuclear wars over there with the Anunnaki. And their civilizations up under, there's stuff up under that sand. There's things in the Vatican. You can only hide stuff for so long. No matter what it is, you can only, to make it more personal, you can only hide a lie for so long. It's going to come out sooner or later. So that's what this is for. It's time that people know about, and to connect it to the greater, a bigger picture is, again, whatever floats your boat, brown, black, melanated, whatever, we were the Native Americans before what people who think are Native Americans, long before, not even close. So it's time, and most people around the world, there are so-called quote-unquote Native Americans who know that.
They do.
And black people don't. Just like I have a friend out in Chino Hills, California. She's a black woman, and she told me how the Asians, a lot of her Asians, when she goes into certain Asian stores, they tell her that Buddha was black. How come black people don't know this?
Well,
These are Asians telling her
that's
this.
true. And he had coily hair, because all the old Buddha dolls or Buddha figures
With the big,
had
thick braids
yeah
on top of their
had big
hair.
coily hair. Yes, that yeah, they changed it later on.
Her this.
Yeah.
They're telling a black woman who don't know this. So even the rest of the world knows a lot of these truths, and it's time.
Absolutely.
That's why it doesn't mean it's time. It doesn't mean we're 13% of the U.S. population, so they say. Okay. It's absurd. It doesn't mean that being 13% of 400 million people, all those other people are going to pack their bags and they're going to leave, and this is our land. That doesn't mean that's going to happen. It just means it's time for this knowledge that everybody seems to know but us. It's like we're walking around with a kick me sign on the back, and everybody sees it, and we don't know why we're being kicked.
Well, I think it's the end of a cycle, and like I've always denoted, and the beginning of a new. And because of that, I know that because we're starting at a cycle when the third sun, we now have a purposeful second sun, third sun is coming. The original people of the Nile, the people that were existing at that first cycle before, are now being reawakened to be able to let go of the shackles that have been keeping them tethered to false historical accounts that did not really exist other than in a colonial perspective, in a colonialized, conquered perspective. I love the fact that there's acknowledgement by everyone now. I can talk to my lunar friends, and they acknowledge that the Native Americans were here, were brown and copper people. They acknowledge that the people of color that are living here that were called African Americans are actually Americans from the Americas.
Right.
I mean, I love that. And I love that there's a loving acceptance of all people in the position of truth, as opposed to living in a lie.
Common sense. There's not enough ships. There's about conservative estimate in the United States, there's like 40 million blacks. In Brazil, there's 80 million. How in God's name does anybody think enough slave ships?
It didn't happen.
There couldn't have been, if there were fleets of them, that couldn't have never happened. That kind of population.
And they also said there weren't crafts that were created that could have manned or held that capacity of live human beings across the Atlantic at that time. Yeah, it wouldn't have happened.
As a matter of fact, there were blacks taken from the Americas and
I agree.
To Africa.
Yes, they're called the mulattoes. They actually call a lot of people didn't know that. I worked with a girl one time who called herself a mulatto. I was like, why do you call yourself a mulatto? She said, my family were the families that came from the United Snakes of America and were sent over back to Africa. She said back to Africa, and we're called mulattoes. Mulattoes didn't mean they were mixed with European and brown. It was a systematic name that they were labeled.
Different.
Yeah. They were different than the indigenous groups of Africans there. She didn't even look African. She looked more like an American, Americanized features, very likened to what you consider here.
That's who the Pocahontas descendant on my Facebook looks like. She looks like you. She looks like, and that's why it was really as an awakened and enlightened as she is to say Killmonger was the real hero.
It's sad.
And
it's sad.
It's very sad. I've heard her talk. She puts up videos all the time talking about the Native Americans and talking about what they ate and cornbread and all that.
Yeah.
I sent you a picture of her.
You did.
Soft spoken.
Yes.
She doesn't talk hood. If you spoke on the phone with her, stereotypically you might think she's a white person, blah blah blah. And she made a post about it, and she couldn't defend it when I went on there and said and pointed out all these things.
Yeah.
It makes me think, and I don't know her, I've never had a telephone conversation with her, and very few inboxes, but it makes me think you have to be abused.
You do.
You have to have that happen.
Stockholm syndrome.
It's no big deal.
Yeah, it's called.
He told me he loved me 2 hours later, but he does this for me, but he does that for me.
Yes, it is the.
Like Ike Turner was beating the hell out of Tina, but boy, he went and bought her flowers afterward. Those pretty flowers.
Well, those are forms of Stockholm syndrome, identifying with the abuser or those who are your captives. That eventually you will take on their own personality and on their own plight based on the fact that is part of the traumatic mind control system that has been perpetuated across our culture and in a satanic Luciferian genre that has been perpetuated in the United States and across the world for the last 2,000 plus years. It's called Stockholm syndrome. That's why you can get a brown woman who can see a man lift an elder up off the ground who's a cultivator, who's an agriculturalist. She's an agriculturalist of specialized plants that bring one to the ancestral realm. If she was here, she'd have a mushroom, farm.
It's bad enough to tell her to burn them without putting your hands on them, but then both.
Yeah. A violation of ancestral and a violation of divine feminine. And this is what has been plaguing the planet for the last 2,000 plus years. The deprivation of love, empathy, and sympathy and compassion for the divine. And it's sad. But you know what? Mr. Corey, I'm grateful we saw it because you know what? This conversation could never happen had we not seen something so egregious. So you know what? If it took for us to see a brown male, abuse a brown elder woman, and to have this conversation to show the shadows of ourselves, to show our idiosyncrasies, to show our own sicknesses, then so be it. Welcome the age of Aquarius.
And that's another reason why the movie, and I saw my friend Janelle put up on her wall, that's the one I told you, she's very beautiful, she sings, she looks like Brandy.
Oh yes, she told me.
She's actually met Brandy, and she said, yeah, we do look alike. And she's from, of all places, Zion, Illinois. Zion, Illinois.
Really?
Okay, yeah. Knows all about the Anunnaki, calls them my ancestors and and she's got thousands of people on her page that would think she was a nutbag if they heard her say that. Because she doesn't wear that on her sleeve.
Absolutely.
But she knows all about it.
Yes.
But
oh, thank you.
She put on her wall and she says, it's sad hearing all you miserable hoteps down in this movie. This movie has brought forth to light tribalism, colonialism. The
Absolutely.
relationship between Black Americans and Africans. The relationship
Absolutely.
between Africans. She didn't even bring up nothing about it being a comic book or that. She went deeper.
Yeah.
She went deeper
Yeah.
and saw it. Yes, we would have loved, some of us, the more militant ones, would have loved, I've said this all over the place, I would have loved the CIA to have invaded Wakanda and got slaughtered. I would have loved to have seen that instead of just all black people fighting each other. But that was the tone of this because it was the inner strife.
Absolutely.
In later Black Panther movies, this was a start. There's been 3 Thor movies. There's been 3 Iron Man movies. There's been 3 Captain America movies. Okay? And you got more as it went on. Now you'll get 2 more Black Panther movies. Okay? So as we go forward, we will see, hopefully, them, what a lot of people wanted to see them fighting, instead of fighting each other. They got to solve the internal conflict first.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. Heal within.
I didn't want to go see black people fighting black people.
You have to, but it's the truth. But this is the truth. But you know what, Mr. Corey, you know what's so sad? We talk about everybody else being in denial. We talk about other people. Oh, why doesn't a lunar have compassion? We don't have compassion for ourselves, and nor do sometimes we show compassion for those who look like us. So within, if you don't heal the aspects of pain, of degradation, of self-loathing, of victimization, how can you heal aspects of how others show up?
Then when you go over, that's a lot of the problems in Africa, the various tribes that are going against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the movie showed that, but was still pain. He didn't kill his girlfriend. Remember Wakabi? He was on his rhino, and he was getting ready to
yes.
run over.
Oh, it was beautiful.
And Baku.
Beautiful scene.
And his girlfriend, who was the captain of the Dormo,
Yes.
jumped in front, and his rhino stopped
And licked her face. I loved it.
Her.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
That was such a powerful scene.
And to see him kneel.
Get it.
And to see him kneel before her, he said, "Would you kill
Be
me?"
man enough.
Yes,
Be man
yes.
enough to be like, okay,
Honor.
okay, you're right, honey. I'm wrong.
He
I'm gonna
kneeled.
Put my weapon down.
It was beautiful.
And he kneeled before
He
her.
did.
He told him, I'll kill you over my country. I won't kill you over him, but I'll kill you for my country. Yeah.
It showed honor, and it showed honor, but it showed love. And why didn't any of the Hoteps talk about the love that was shown in here? A brown on brown people. You don't even see brown love anymore. We don't see men who love women. You saw a brown man love another brown woman. A brown woman, not a lighter woman. I'm not saying anything, not a woman that's mixed. But he loved a brown woman. Men were showing that.
T'Challa loved Lupita Nyong'o's character and he wanted her to stay there.
Absolutely.
And marry him. But
Absolutely.
She wants to do her thing.
Yes. And
she wants to do her thing.
Thank you for saying that. She didn't compromise herself based on status or what he could offer her. You see that, C-Star? This is where I talk about the honorable disposition of the divine. She wasn't caught up in what he could give her. She wasn't caught up in the ego of being with a king. She wanted to do what she wanted to do. Absolutely.
That's what y'all don't know about in the comics. He's a billionaire. He doesn't just have a couple.
Oh yeah,
dollars.
But she wasn't enamored by it.
He bought
the building. I know he bought the building.
The one right beside it and the one right beside it.
I love it.
At the end.
Yes, it was beautiful. Why didn't we speak about that? Instead of dissecting the things that we don't like, why don't we start to illuminate the things that we do like? The love, the brown love on love was something I haven't witnessed in a movie in a long time in a legitimate way. Usually when brown on brown people love each other, somebody gets murdered, somebody goes to jail. There's always something diabolical about it. This was love and honor. How could we say anything different? We haven't seen this. My babies watch this. I brought my little ones to see this. I want them to recognize love. And it's okay for a brown person to love a brown person. It doesn't need to be anything other but honorable and loving and something that we should treasure.
And actually, part of her, I don't want to say where she rejected it, but actually part of her turning that down, what you're talking about, is because of who he is. It's not about she went and jumped on it. She knows that she said yes, she becomes a queen, and that means she has to stay there.
Responsibility, restriction. Yeah, that's true.
And travel around and go and do her. So that's actually the reason.
That's true.
She said no.
She sounds like a Sagittarius.
I'm not going to spoil any sequels for the non-comic book crowd, but I know certain things about her character that you don't know because I know about the comics.
Okay.
Okay.
And they said in the comic he married Storm. Somebody just said that. Is that true?
Storm is actually his true love and way before her.
Oh, wait a second. I didn't know that.
Yes, honey, he grew up with Storm.
Oh, wait a second. Anunnaki all day. What? Storm? You serious?
Yeah, he grew up with Storm.
I love this.
When they were kids.
I didn't know this. Okay. See, I'm learning something.
This is an adult. She goes away, and because her real name is Aurora.
Oh.
She goes away and becomes Storm. And then they split up and go their separate ways in life. They grew up as kids. They were in love with each other as kids and teenagers. Then they split up because she goes and becomes Storm. And then she comes back to him later. I mean, it doesn't mean they're going to follow the comics, but I don't mean to ruin it for her. They might not go there. But Lupita Nyong'o's character becomes a villain named Malice or Malaise or whatever.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, this is gonna turn.
Yes.
I hope we get to see like the. I would love to see what they do with this. How this ends up showing up.
That after this movie ended, that's all like tons of black people and non-black.
Yeah.
We're calling for. We want Storm.
Oh my gosh.
Storm.
Oh,
You know
this is
why?
cool.
Because Marvel is owned by Disney.
Yeah.
Okay. Marvel did not have the live action rights to the X-Men, which is the universe that Storm is in.
Okay.
It's portrayed very poorly by Halle Berry for like the last 15 years.
I like the other one. I like the other character, the younger version that they had in this last one. She's feisty. I liked her character. I liked the way she looked. I liked the way her acting was good. I liked that she had this like wonderful accent.
But Marvel didn't have live action. Didn't have live action to the X-Men or Fantastic Four or Spider-Man. Now, what happened is because Fantastic Four and X-Men were owned by Fox, and Spider-Man's owned by Sony.
Okay.
Spider-Man's still owned by Sony.
I know they are.
But
Yeah.
they made a deal to allow Marvel to use the character.
Because they use it in Universal Studios. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so they made a deal. That's why you got another Spider-Man. They got this kid this time instead of Andrew Garfield. Because Marvel went and picked their own Spider-Man. Well, Marvel just bought back the rights. They bought a lot. Fox Studios sold off all their entertainment to Disney. But the deal is on hold for a year because it has to be approved by Congress. But in that deal, Disney got back Fantastic Four, and they got back the original stuff, Star Wars, the unaltered versions, which hardcore fans like me have been waiting on, because George Lucas went back and put all the special effects in the originals. And they got back the X-Men, which means Storm. So that's why she couldn't have been in this one. I'm not saying because when the movie was made, they hadn't bought those rights back.
Okay, so now they bought the rights.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's another reason why you hear all these people after the success of this movie pounding their hands on the table saying,
Oh my gosh.
We want
Okay.
Storm.
Okay.
We want Storm. Storm. Matter of fact, they talked about that on several movie shows that I'm subscribed to. They was like, oh, poor Lupita Nyong'o. Did she hear all these people? They want Storm now. The readers know that that's what I just told you. They know what I just told you. That's his true love. That's who he grew up with.
Oh wow. That's what they were all saying. Yeah, that's what they were all saying. Storm. I love that. That to me is even more exciting.
Married.
Oh wow.
Married in the comics.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm getting excited. I'm not a comic person, and it's so interesting. I love that though. I love that the two together. I think it's beautiful. Inanna. Storm is Inanna. Yes, I agree.
You grew up with somebody who y'all were in love and was your first love.
Yes.
And then you see.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what happened there. They on the animated, they played together in the streets of Egypt because she's from Egypt.
Yes.
We know.
Yes.
Storm
from the last show.
Know is a set from Kemet, and she's one of the Orishas, Oyaya, from the Orishas that can control the weather from Nigeria, West Africa. They created nothing. Stan Lee created nothing. All he does is regurgitate our stuff. Okay. And put a different name on it.
Welcome to the paradigm.
Right. So yeah, they grew up.
Oh, that's what Jose said. Lost daughter of Wakanda. She's the lost daughter of Wakanda, Storm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I love when the comic, because a lot of, I dated someone who was a comic. Like, I love that you guys really have all the comic characters down, like the scenarios. I love it. This is exciting to me. It makes me excited to see, again, how this plays out, what they'll do on the, because they're already working it out.
They did an animated kind of thing that played on BET for a while about the Black Panther, because Alfre Woodard was T'Challa's mom. She voiced T'Challa's mother, and Jaimin Husan was the Black Panther. He was T'Challa.
Okay.
And she called him on the phone. I don't know if he's with Lupita Nyong'o's Nakia. I think he's with Nakia in the series, and all of a sudden he gets a phone call, and he's telling his royal guard, "I'm too busy to take the call. And the one guy tells him over and over again, "No, sir, you need to take this call." So he takes the phone, and he gets on. He's like, "Who is this?" And Storm is floating in the air, and she says, "It's Ororo," and he freezes up.
Interesting.
Because he hadn't seen or heard from her in years.
Oh, this is beautiful. I'm excited.
And now she's Storm.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a match. She's electric.
Here's
Woo! She can burn that kitty up.
Here's
Electrocute the kitty.
Here's probably, and this is going back to our topic of discussing this movie and the impact on the Black community. Here's why they might not do that, as juicy as that sounds. Storm is a set in all of them in the comics and in the actual real set on the walls of Kemet. You see her complexion. She looks East African, which is what's most ancient Egyptians.
She does. The straighter, more linear features.
Ethiopian looking, Somalian looking.
Yes.
Okay. Quote unquote, what
Anunnaki.
the will say is white features, angular nose.
No, it's African. East Africans have that very linear facial features. Mm-hmm.
So, if they get an actress that has that phenotype to match the comic book, which you've been drawn as in the comic book, there's no way in hell they're gonna do that story and have Lupita Nyong'o's character turn into Malice or Malaise or whatever her name was when she goes evil, because Lupita Nyong'o is dark skinned and Storm would be lighter with angular features.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
The Black community.
It'll cause an uproar a little bit.
Eat comics, so they would not know this.
Okay.
Oh, girl, Hollywood done had him leave that beautiful, dark-skinned black girl, Lupita, for his mixed girl, which she wouldn't be mixed, but this is what they're gonna say.
Because they're ignorant to the geographical differences in people's facial features. Yeah.
You know, so there's probably, if they do get a storm, they're gonna make her dark.
That's okay. I guess it'll be appropriate. It'll be appropriate.
I went back
As long as her hair is white, like an Anunnaki, nigga. As long as they have her hair white. Yeah.
But yeah, honey, that's a very, very, very juicy story.
I'm excited. I love it. I love it. To me, I got excited when you said it. I'm looking forward to it.
That's his true love.
Oh my gosh, Storm, and she's an elemental, like thyself.
Yeah, like you.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he can control the weather displayed horribly by Halle Berry. Horribly.
Yeah,
Horribly.
They just picked Halle Berry because she was Halle Berry just had.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
She just has a look to her.
And that was the complexion of the character.
Yeah.
That's why. That's another reason.
Yeah.
That's what the character was drawn, because she's drawn. If people want to know, go pull up a set, and you can see how a set looked. And that's what the character is made, because a set could control the weather. Okay, well, there's not lots, but she wasn't the only one who could control the weather. But
Inaya, Vanjie said, is it Inaya and the sister? I can't pronounce her name.
Anunnaki?
Yeah.
You're talking about Inanna.
Yeah, Inanna.
What about her?
Is would Storm equate to Inanna?
No, nothing alike. Nothing, not even in the same neighborhood.
Because Inanna was more of the she's the breeder.
Too.
Yeah, she's a breeder too.
Yeah, she's got Inanna's got a lot of reptilian going on her.
Well, she's really astute. Yeah, she's not empathetic. She's she's pretty strong.
I'm talking about physically.
Oh well, yeah. But personality-wise, she doesn't fit Storm's disposition.
Yeah, hell.
At least the character in the show. Okay, so Mr. Corey, you ready for some phone calls? We're actually having good reception right now, and everything.
You haven't been going out and in like you were.
No, that must have been like a vortex opened up in this piece. All right, so let's go and start off. Let's take some phone calls. Now, if you're calling in, the number is 515-605-9888. Oh, no, you can't call in. I'm sorry, family. We already passed the time because we're late. Oh, my gosh. We only have 30 minutes left. The glitch has really jacked up the show. Okay, so let's go into the calls. I'm sorry, everyone. Let's go straight into the calls. We're going to take 908-4711. Peace, family. You're on the phone with Mr. Corey and FleurBrun. 908-47. Take your phone off mute. 4711. 908. Going once. Going twice. Hopefully 908-4711. All right, we're going to move on. Next number, 914-2235. You're from my neck of the woods. 914-2235. Peace, family.
Oh, hi.
Peace.
Hello?
PC Star, you on the...
Hello?
Hi.
908-4711? Oh, hi. Sorry.
Hello, I can hear her.
Hi, Mr. Oh, good. Hi, Mr. Corey.
Hello, honey. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, FleurBrun.
Hi, PC Star.
All right, I'll make it quick. Okay, the first question I have, and it's a little weird, is that I remember your last talk, you stated that that Enki side was having relations with the women. And I was just confused because if these bees are like 7, 10 feet tall, how were they shrinking themselves down to have relations with the earth women?
No.
You don't think the Shaquille Shaquille O'Neal have kids by he didn't have Shaquille O'Neal. He's got about 10 kids.
I guess I'm just thinking like size-wise. It just seems like it didn't match up. Okay. Well, I'm sorry that. And my last question is, I'll make it quick. Do you know anything about the Serpent Queen?
Nigga serpent.
Serpent Queen?
And yeah, like you stated the Orion Queen, and I just wanted to like any information you have off the top of your head, because I know you spoke a lot about the Anunnaki, which I totally appreciate. Thank you so much. I just want to know a little bit more about the Serpent Queen.
Oh, Inky's mother?
Mm-hmm.
Like what type of information about her? His mom in Orion, they were having conflicts. The Anunnaki was having conflicts with other beings over resources on planets that they were coming to. So to stop those two from fighting, and for a whole lot of other reasons, his father had the Lord Anu in the Old Testament is called the Lord, but Anu, the Most High, had a kid with an Orion Queen, Inky's mother, so that this person would be a bridge between the two civilizations, and they would slaughter each other because he's half and half. Now,
Do you know what she?
Go ahead, ask.
I was gonna ask, do you know what she like looks like, and is she still alive?
Inky's mother?
Yeah.
No. Remember, we're speaking. When we talk about stuff like that in the here and now, we're talking about things. I mean, like thousands. And that we're talking about stuff long before Egypt. We're like going way back. Now, Inky is still alive, and so is his brother, and their father is not. They're still in Anu, because Anu is just a title like president, king, queen, senator. Okay, but no, their father's not alive, and their mother, well, Inky's mother's not alive. No. But that's a good question. That's a very good question.
It's probably a new queen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What did you say, C-Star? A new queen? I agree with you. Remember we talked about queens.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just a matter of finding out who she is and who's being represented by her. That's the interesting part.
The Orion Queens aren't going anywhere.
I love it. All right, C-Star.
Okay, good to know. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful question. Great question.
All right. Peace, C-Star.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Okay, we're going to take a next phone call, 917-7086. You're on the line with Mr. Corey and FleurBrun. Peace, family.
Hello.
Peace, C-Star.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep. You sound like a lot of scratching going on, but we can hear you.
Yeah, it's my headphones. Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, that's okay.
Mr. Corey, how are you?
How are you? Very good.
Good, thank you. I haven't watched Black Panther yet, but I plan to watch it.
Oh, wow. You
Oh.
probably just watched it.
Yeah. Us talking about it.
Great.
Yeah.
Got a special screening. I got the intel. But when I saw the preview, I was so happy because I was like, people that look like me, yay.
Aww.
And I think it's really like impactful. Yeah, it's like it's such a good feeling. And I saw, a lot of the women with shaved heads, and then I don't know if I saw any people with locks or anything,
But remember Michonne,
but
remember Michonne. Michonne is from Walking Dead. She has dreads on Walking Dead.
But she had dreadlocks in there, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a real life African. Well, she was born in Iowa, but she's raised in
Yes.
Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Where she's from.
Yep.
Wow.
From age 5 to 19,
Yeah,
she's raised in Zimbabwe.
wow. I didn't know that. Oh, wow. I like her as an actress. I watched The Walking Dead.
Me
And
too.
there's a lot of symbolism in that.
Absolutely.
Like, I see she's like the rescuer, and then she has the locks. I'm like, yeah.
And she has a sword, love. Remember the sword,
So,
which
for my question,
remember her sword. Always remember the sword of Michonne, because she came in with the same skill set that she came from Walking Dead. Now, which came first, the skill set or the sword? She represents that well.
oh wow, yeah. I sometimes in my like alter ego, I feel because I have locks and like
Oh,
in my
beautiful.
alter ego I have locks too.
Yes.
But like I carry around like a katana,
Ooh.
and I was in like karate when I was younger. Yeah. So it's like I always was just so interested in like that hand to hand kind of like combat kind of thing.
Yes.
Oh, and another thing before I forget.
Yes.
I remember like one of the YouTube videos you were saying that the Andromedans or like another set have like scars on their face.
Yes, they do.
But I have a scar on my face. Yeah, and like I have a scar on my face. It's nothing serious,
Mhm.
but like I've had it since birth, since like day one, and it's like it's on my jaw.
Interesting. What kind of
Maybe
shape?
my
What's the shape of the scar? What's the shape of the scar? Is it like a line? Is it in a shape? Is it like a cross? Does it go diagonal? How does it go on your face?
It's a small scar and it's diagonal. It's long,
Okay.
and then it has like a space. So it has like one little cut. Then it has my skin, and then it has another cut underneath it.
Because the Andromedans are known to, just like I talk about in Aliens versus Predators, that's one of the way that they mark themselves as warriors. They, just like what's his name did in the movie, when every time he killed somebody, what did he do, Mr. Corey? He put scars on himself and they kind of keloid up. Because people of color get keloids. Some lunars get keloids too, but we get keloids, which is like.
You're telling her about the movie again. She hasn't seen.
Oh God! Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What was your question, hon?
Mr. Corey is so funny though. He was so calm. He was like, no, you shouldn't do that.
Well, was it just about the connection between this? What were you asking about your scar on your face and the connection with the Andromedans?
Yeah. So is there like a connection with that?
It's hard to. It's hard to say. It would have to be something. Remember, even the Indians and East India used to mark their dead, so that in the incarnation they would come back with a mark showing that was their loved one incarnated. Some of the Andromedans have been known to do that, but I can't say for sure. It'd have to be a connection that you feel to them. Also, they would tell you, or you'd have a remark of a time where you fought, and you may have that mark. Usually, ask yourself the question and see if it's revealed to you, because you'll know better than I would right away.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, okay.
Okay.
And that's just like another thing I've been noticing is like my manifestation. Like today I was thinking about the Knicks. And I was like, oh, I would really like to go to a Knicks game. And then my dad was like, the Knicks won tonight. And I was like, oh, wow.
Synchronicity. The synchronicity. Synchronicity is happening because we're no longer confined in 3D. 4D, more so, thoughts are things. Time doesn't really exist as much in 4D. So what you're doing is you're able to, especially we're going closer to the Van Allen belt, which allows for the receptivity of kinetic energy from thoughts to things. So it's a combination of several things going on. But that synchronicity is for you to always take notice that we are living in a holographic system that is quite interactive, just like an interactive video game. If you denote that, the more that you denote the synchronicity is the more that your awareness will become more heightened and your consciousness will raise. So the fact that you notice that and you noticed it right after the fact, right after the incident, is a testament to your ability to discern things showing up in a field when it's relating to something you're thinking about or talking about. And that's great. Keep doing that.
Ooh, yay, I will.
Okay, C-Star.
Oh, thank you so much for everyone.
Thank you. Peace, C-Star.
All right, thanks, Mr. Corey.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Okay. Let's take our next caller, 954-1353. You're on the line with Mr. Corey and FleurBrun. Peace, family. Take your phone off mute if you're on. 954-1353. You're on the line with FleurBrun and Mr. Corey. Peace. Are you there?
Hello?
I think they're there. They might be trying to put the phone on. You know how sometimes they're going to the headphones. 954-1353.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Peace. Peace, Sunstar.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, sorry, my phone's just freaking out for a second.
That's okay.
Wow, I can't believe I actually got on. I kind of went into the queue kind of late. But, hello everyone. I kind of just had a question because I've had an experience, well, a few experiences since I was a child, that really confused me for a while.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Where are you? You're...
Oh, no, you muted yourself again.
Yeah. I think it's his headphones.
Maybe it won't work again.
No, you there. There you go. There you go.
Right. So when I was younger, this is one time when I was asleep and I was having a normal dream. It was almost like I was in New York or something. But this person that I've never seen before in my life came up to me in my dream and kind of put this device up to my face and just said, "Sleep." Right? And I just felt myself go completely paralyzed to the point where I couldn't move. And the things that they did to me after, I don't know if I could say on the phone.
Oh. Hello? Oh my gosh. It shut down. It shut everybody off. He said I didn't think I could say it on the show, and it just hung up on him. It hung up on Mr. Corey. It shut down the whole show. Who are you, young man? Hold on. Oh, my episode is over. Hold on 1 second. 954, are you still there? Mr. Corey? We're getting all... Listen. Oh, my. Hold on. I have to get them... That's Mr. Corey's ringtone. Listen to Mr. Corey's ringtone. Mr. Corey.
My phone just hung up out of nowhere. I don't know what in the world.
Your phone hung up, but it hung up on the guy who just was about to tell us what happened to him. We got to call him back. We got 10 minutes. Something must have happened. The whole thing just shut off. It shut you off. It shut the show off. It cut down Blog Talk, shut off. Everything shut off. Except our family here on Cypher and on YouTube. Big up to our family on YouTube and Cypher. Hold on. Let me call him in, Mr. Corey. I'm curious now.
Wow.
Wow.
Crazy.
It's madness tonight. Madness in the Matrix tonight. Hold on. This is crazy.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key. I'm sorry, but I did not hear you press at least 4 digits of your PIN number. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
It just hung up on me. Oh my gosh. Hold on, family. I'm persistent. I will keep going.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
The PIN you entered does not match the PIN you have on file for your account. Please re-enter your PIN. To start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
There are no shows scheduled within the next 24 hours. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Wow. It's telling me I don't have a show, but I've got his phone number. So you know what, family? Can't stop, won't stop. Where's my pen? Don't play with me. You're not going to tell me I can't call him. Where's my pen? This is a contact. You wonder why contactees are all we go in a little frenzy. Hold on, Mr. Corey's off the. Where's my pen? Oh, here it is. Okay, hold on, family. I gotta do this quick before the phone number disappears. Okay. I'm calling him. Okay. Let me get Mr. Corey back on the line and then I'll call this young man. I'm calling Mr. Corey first, then I'm calling the young man.
Hello.
Mr. Corey, I have to apologize again for madness happening. The show is ended. Blog Talk, my show doesn't end until midnight. It's shut down. But Mr. Corey, the show doesn't stop because I do have the young man's number. Would you mind staying on the line while we call him personally?
Was he going to ask me the question, or was he going to ask you the question? Because that lady asked you that question, didn't she, about the scars and Andromeda or whatever?
Yeah, but he was going to disclose something about an ET, I think. Well, let's see. Hold on, Mr. Corey.
Okay.
To place a call in this area, you must dial the area code and the phone number. For assistance, please dial 611 or...
That was my fault. It wasn't anything weird. No, that was my fault. I didn't put the area code. We're calling him. I'm just going to call people from now on. You know what, Blog Talk?
Hello?
Hi, this is FleurBrun, Peace Family. I know we're calling you. I hope you didn't mind.
So I probably should have introduced myself first. I don't know where my manners went. I kind of just got excited when I heard myself on the call.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry it got disconnected. It was weird. It shut down the whole show before you were going to share something with us. We're having ET contact tonight. At least that's my presumption. Mr. Corey said I'm shooting the gun a little too early to say that, but I feel it. I know it. I smell it. So I would love for you to share your story. Everybody's waiting for you still, if you don't mind.
All right, my question is kind of directed to the both of you anyway, but first off, my name is Chandler. I'm also Old Soul in the chat. Probably been to almost every single live stream you've had.
Aw, that's cool.
In the background listening, but
it's nice
yeah,
to meet
first time calling.
It's nice to meet. Well, I'm glad that I called you back. I feel bad that you called for the first time and Blog Talk and everybody just shut you down. So, you know, can't stop, won't stop. So, you know, I'm already a Sagittarius. I'm going to call you back regardless. That's how I do. So, what's going on, Sunstar?
All right, so this happened a while back, probably when I was around 8 or 9 years old, but it was a dream that shook me and still has me pretty shaken up to this day. But it was like a dream where I was with my sister in the dream, And this person that I've never seen before in my life, it was kind of like, it felt like a New York setting because in the dream I was looking for a taxi or something with my sister. And this person walked up to me and put their hand toward my face. I could see that there's an object in their hand. And they just said, go to sleep. And my entire body, physically, I felt my entire body go into a state of paralysis almost.
That's technology.
And it was like I lost consciousness inside the dream as well, because like it just went black for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like for every moment I see like flashes of what was happening before me, and the things that person was doing was really, I don't even know if I could say it on the show.
Yes, you
what
can.
they were doing, let's just say, it was
You can.
associated
You could
with
say-
my wand.
You could say everything. Remember, little people are asleep. At least they should be. Mommies, please. Daddies, aunties, grandmas. Make sure little people are out of the room, because he might disclose something right now. You can say this live. We're not going to get in trouble, but just usher the little people out if they're up late. This is not something that they need to hear. Okay, you can share.
And so basically this person or whatever had this device connected to my wand and was doing something to it. And ever since then, it's just always made me feel odd whenever I think back to it. It just completely violated me. And when I woke up, I just felt that something had happened to me, and I never felt the same afterwards.
Did you have...
So at first I kind of left it off as a dream. Pardon?
Did you have what you consider to be a wet dream? Did you feel like it was making you ejaculate, like pulling something out or extracting something? Did it feel that way? Any pain?
I honestly don't remember, but I know after that point, like I'd say like I became more sexually involved, I guess you could say. That's when I became more aware of that. Yeah, because like at that age I wasn't really focused on it, but then all of a sudden like I became aware.
You don't remember? You said these were humans that came up to you and put the thing in your face and said sleep?
It looked, at the time it looked like a human. Like they came up to me, they just told me sleep, and my entire body just went into a state of paralysis. And the thing is, this didn't happen only once. This happened 3 times, like separate times in my life. The second time I don't remember at all. I just remember the person coming up to me and saying sleep, and I just went completely paralyzed and unconscious. And then I woke up later with no memory of my dream at all.
Like Graves.
This person just told me to sleep.
You said it sounds like Grays?
The third time.
Mr. Corey, you said it sounds like Grays?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he said what he thought that they looked human when they came up to him. They sound like Grays. And not that there are hundreds of species of Grays, but so it's hard to narrow it down to which group of Grays is. So, but that sounds like Grays.
Now, when it made you afterwards, I'm sorry, Sunstar. I'm just gonna ask you another question if you don't mind.
It's fine. Go ahead.
If after the first incident that this happened, did you find anything else on your body that was odd? Did you feel like your leg hurt, behind your ears were sensitive? Do you feel like you had sensitivity in your teeth? Did you feel like you weren't able to sleep? Anything odd about after you had the first contact with this being?
It's going to sound weird, but no. I wasn't able to sleep and my rectum was sore.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that.
That's a gray. Yeah, he was violated by a gray.
Yeah, those are grays.
Those are grays.
Are you Caucasian?
No, I'm
melanated.
Melanated.
Okay.
Well, I'm mixed, but majority melanated.
I know. That's why I asked, are you Caucasian?
Is your mother lunar?
No, my mother's half Chinese.
Okay.
Half Chinese, half what?
Bahamian.
Half Chinese, half Indian?
Bohemian, Bahamas.
Oh, Bahamian. And your dad's black?
Full Bahamian, yeah.
Bahamas, okay.
But the third time it happened, there was like a heavy-set melanated woman that ran up to me it was another dream setting. She ran up to me and did the same thing. She told me to sleep, but this time I didn't want it to happen, so I was able to completely fight it off. And ever since then, it's never happened again.
Good.
But aside from that, other things have happened to me where I've been like, okay, am I being followed or something's going on that I'm not aware of.
Because it's not good. It's not good at all. There's nothing good about what you're describing. It sounds
I'd say like the last thing
nefarious grade.
Say that again, Star. Say what you were saying.
The last terrifying experience that I had was, I'd say, last year, my freshman year of college, in the dorm. Like, I was preparing to go to sleep, and I woke up, and my eyes were open this time. I know that I wasn't dreaming because my eyes were open. I was looking into a corner of my room. My body was paralyzed again. It felt like sleep paralysis. And I've had sleep paralysis before, but this time it was completely different. And in the corner was just like this completely black being, and it just walked up towards me. And it put its hand over like where my third eye would be and where my solar plexus would be, and just held it there. I just felt like a surge of energy going throughout my entire body.
Are you a O negative? You a negative, Bruce?
O positive.
You're O positive. Something strange about this, Mr. Corey. He's getting contacted by Grays. Is somebody in the military in your family? Father? Anyone in the military?
Not that I know of, no.
It's odd. Why would they target? It's interesting.
Horrible.
Yeah, it is.
Also, ever since I've moved to Orlando, I've seen 2 crafts so far.
Wait, you're in Orlando near me?
Yes.
Where are you in Orlando? We don't have to give me.
Near UCS.
Where? I'm sorry?
Near UCS.
Okay.
Like in the
okay.
UCS vicinity,
Okay.
that area.
Okay. Okay. Has this happened since you've lived in Orlando? This has happened here?
Yeah, the most latest one where the person walked up to me and just held their hands over me, that happened while I was living in the dorms with UCF, but right now I live with my family again.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, aside from that, there was another thing that happened where I had seen a craft over Millennium Mall, and I knew that it was different because that day, for some reason, there's a lot of helicopters in the area. And I was like, I just looked in the sky, I was like, why are there so many helicopters? This doesn't seem right. And I looked, and I saw this thing that looked like an oval-shaped balloon, and I thought it was a balloon because I was trying to find every logical reason for it not to be a craft at first, before assuming that it was.
Yeah.
But it was just staying in one area, and it was completely black, or opaque, I should say. And it was just staying in one area, and I was trying to stare at it just to see if it moved at all or anything. But it was kind of just hovering there, but yet slightly tilting on its axis. I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
So.
But the moment I pulled my eyes away from it for a second, I turned back and it was completely gone. And then there's at least 2 helicopters in that area that just came out of nowhere. And I guess it was looking for this thing.
He's a target.
But when I saw it, I was like, wow, I just saw a craft and I got excited. But then later that night, pardon?
Can you draw?
Yeah, I can, kind of.
You should. Well, you should kind of.
Can you?
I mean, I am artistic, but I haven't done it in so long. I don't know if I could do it as well as I would want to.
I want him to send a picture.
Yeah, it's not send it. You need to draw it for yourself, so you can describe what's doing and to show people that might have higher knowledge of stuff like this. On wow, you told me about your rectum and they're in your womb. I mean that's the behavior.
No, but that's a targeted individual. He sounds like he's targeted though, but he's saying no.
Well, yeah, that's odd. Yeah.
But you don't have anyone in the military. He's also a positive, which makes me think this is more so governmental. I'm wondering why. Do you do anything strange? What is it that you're majoring in? What about you makes you something you're doing? Is something about you that they're interested in? It has to be. Is there something?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Since my birth, people have always told me I was a special child, so I don't know. People have always said some special things about me, but I've always disregarded them. I kind of just always see myself as ordinary. I mean, I'm majoring in psychology with the intention of following the teachings of Carl Jung, looking into the collective consciousness and everything. That's my area of interest.
What is your Can I ask this part? What does your mother do? Is she Is she a clinician? Is she a doctor? Is she someone?
Hey, FleurBrun?
Yes.
Not really.
I do have to take off, honey. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you,
Good
Corey.
luck, good luck, sir. Good luck with that. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Corey.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Yep. Thank you. Bye bye.
So, I'm sorry. Is your mother? I was asking about your mom.
She worked in business, actually. She owned a food store, or food store chain, I should say, in the Bahamas.
Okay. Why I'm asking so many questions is because what's interesting is there's certain contact, there's certain abductions that happens to certain people. Whenever you hear things like violations, certain what we consider to be abduction, which is a violation, like they utilize anal probes, they do things, they forcibly take semen or eggs, things of that nature. They're usually linked to hostile ET groups, and also they're linked to governmental groups. But usually when I hear that, and what Corey was trying to get at was that mostly you'll hear stuff like that when it has to do with lunars or O negatives that are melanin dominant. You don't have either of those. So why it's a little disconcerting is because I smell the smoke, but I don't know where the fire is coming from. There's something about you that makes you of interest, but it has to be something linked to your family. Because again, these groups of ETs, you're getting contact, obviously, and also you're seeing a craft. So I know that you're also a being of interest, meaning that the craft is an indication that you are perhaps a contactee, which we know you are. When did you see the craft again? Can you tell me again when you saw the cloaking?
February 2nd.
I'm sorry?
February 2nd.
And what day or night?
It was during sunset.
Sunset.
It was right over Millennium Mall. I don't know if you know where that is.
Yeah. I'm in. I was just gonna disclose my. I forget I'm on YouTube. I was just gonna disclose my location. Let me be mindful. No, I know where the Millennium Mall is.
But the weird thing is, after I saw it that night, I had a dream that a craft came to me.
Yes.
And a lunar came from it, and he had reptilian eyes, and I was just barraging him with a whole bunch of questions, like asking him where he was, if he was one of the benevolent ones.
Yes.
Why he was here, things like that. And I just found that really weird, that I would dream about that right after seeing something like that.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. How old are you? Can I ask? Is that okay?
19.
Okay, you're young. You have us tongue-tied a little bit. You have me tongue-tied. I usually have a good grasp on where something's coming from, but with you, there's something that's missing. There's something that's there that I don't see, or maybe you don't know to say, but there's something that makes you of interest, and I'm concerned because the level of contact you're getting is what we deem to be hostile, meaning that it's not really, this is what is considered to be abduction. Anytime they're doing something harmful. Go ahead.
I feel like they're trying to get rid of me in awareness as well, because I guess you could say from ever since I had that experience, like I just started to I was stricken with like terrible depression from that time until now, and it's just been increasingly getting worse from when the first incident happened to now.
That's your subconscious knowing something that was diabolical, and that's your way. Your mind can't get to that information, but it overstands the vibration and the frequency of it must be horrific or maybe bad. And bad is just a judgment based on how you may feel about it. I have a feeling that something's happened to you, and subconsciously it's there, and it's been compartmentalized and you don't have access to it on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level you feel it and it's causing what you consider to be depression. I don't think it's depression as far as chemically. I think it's onset of depression based on some form of trauma that you've been exposed to. This is where you need to contact. How do you feel? Do you feel like you need help for this? Do you feel like this is something that you want to kind of release and try to find out, get some more pieces of the puzzle? Or you just kind of want to just leave it be and kind of hopefully move on? Which is it that you...
I kind of want to get to the end of it, find out exactly why all this is going on, who I'm connected to, for them to be trying to do this to me in the first place, I guess.
Okay. Maybe this is where I, just like Barry Littleton would suggest, you getting, definitely getting regression. This is where I'll suggest that for you. I need you to find a regressionist, and I know there's one in Miami that's connected to Dolores Cannon. You know, I'm such an advocate of Dolores Cannon's training of her regressionist hypnotherapists that have been doing a phenomenal job all over. There's one in Miami. I forgot her name. I would love for you. I'm not sure the cost because you're a college student. I'm sure you're just a little restricted. I remember college days. It's not like you have money throwing around. Most college, young people are on fixed income. But if you could get your duds together and possibly what I can do, since I have your phone number, I can text you the facility and the name of the lady that I've referred a couple people to. That, again, she was trained under Dolores Cannon's therapeutic hypnotherapy techniques, which I know work. You need to have a hypnotherapy session, and you need to pinpoint the dates, since you have dates, and find out what has been messing with you, what they've been doing, and why they're doing it. Okay. And I would also just suggest, if you have a friend or a family member, because remember, our world is a little different. So I'm not sure how savvy your friends are. If you have a friend that's down with our people, then I would suggest bringing them just for, just to keep, kind of give you support, because I don't know what you're going to find out, and I don't think it's going to be good. I'm being honest, and I don't want to say that, but I don't
really have anyone to turn to for this. That's really why I always come to the live stream, and I haven't really told anyone about this until now.
You haven't?
Because I feel like people just called me out for saying like I'd be lying or something.
Okay.
So that's why I usually never tell anyone.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so we'll be your support system. How about that? This is what we needed from each other, so we'll be your support system. So meaning that if I find out who it is, we'll find out, if you don't mind, we have our people everywhere. We'll find out who's around the area, and at least, or I'll just make sure that I keep in contact with you and call in the day that you get it done, and I'll be your support system.
Okay.
I really feel like this would be something to find out. And again, I don't want to make it seem like it's absolutely awful. I think what they're doing to you is awful. But I really think, on the good note, I think you're very special. I think whatever it is about you that they're trying to take pieces of, it means that you're something special. And that in itself is wonderful. And if you find out how special you are, maybe you can take that and take that piece of yourself that you did not know existed and start to grow and cultivate it and make it masterful, and maybe find happiness again, and find, reassure yourself that even though this may be happening to you, that you were someone of interest because of how incredibly special you really are. And also, Carlos. Hey, Carlos, you're in Fort Lauderdale. Carlos also is one of our family members. If you go down, we can also, if you want Carlos to meet up with you and just hang out and just make sure you're okay, we can have him meet up. He's one of ours. Carlos is a good guy. He's a daddy. He's one of us. We can. He's willing to do that as well.
Okay.
How do you feel?
Conflicted. I don't know. It just feels weird.
It does. I understand. Don't feel pressure to do anything. If you did nothing, you'd be still where you are. If you do something, it'll just be a little step forward to find out a little bit more. So don't feel conflicted, okay? I just suggest, listen, you don't have to do anything, okay? But if you decide to, you have a support system, okay? And we're not just crazy daisies online. We're parents, we're facilitators, we're real people. And our family's pretty vast. And we're the black sheeps of many of our families, me included. I was the one in my family who even my brother thought I was quackadoodles until he realized that there was a lot of validity of what I was going through, and now he's more supportive. But each one of us has been the black sheep in our family. Each one of us has had an experience that we couldn't share with our families, our friends, or anybody. So don't feel afraid or alone or feel like you're going to be censored. At least on this platform, you're going to be supported by us.
Hello?
I'm here.
I'm sorry, the audio went out for a second. But
Oh, did it? Okay.
yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it a lot, though.
Okay. So what I'll do, I have Carlos's number. I'm going to send it to you. If you feel like you need a little support, call him, all right? If you want to.
Okay.
And you can contact me and say, FleurBrun, I'm just nervous, I'm scared. Some people, listen, I'm going to say something to you that I've said to Barry when he told me to go get a regression. I'm going to be honest, I was scared because a lot of my experiences, you've seen what happens online with me. You can imagine the things that I see. Could you imagine the things that I don't even know that have happened to me? So I've been reluctant to go, even for myself, to go get regression. And maybe me encouraging you is kind of me encouraging me to do it. So in that itself, don't ever feel alone. And like I said, I know we seem like it's not real, but we're real people. I'm a real person. I walk around, I drink coffee. You see me drink it every day. I'm silly. I'm not perfect. But don't feel like you're something odd or obscure. But I really want you to have an idea of what's going on. And I want you to have something tangible to hold on to help you build yourself back up. Because depression can really take you to the pits of places that you don't need to be. And you're young. You have a healthy life ahead of you if you allow it. And again, this is something that could be traumatic, but maybe in the trauma itself, you'll find out something beautiful about yourself.
Hopefully.
And they want to know your name. Can we at least know your first name or your nickname?
Chandler?
Chandler?
Yeah.
Chandler. Okay, Chandler. So Chandler, we're cheering for you, Chandler. We are. And like I said, I have Carlos's number here. Hold on. I got to write everything down because I can't remember anything. Uh-oh. I hope it doesn't leave. Hold on. And, oh, wait, it just did. Hold on. And you're close to me. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So, listen. One day you want to necessarily talk and even if you need a little bit of reassurance that you're okay, holla at a sister. Let me know you're okay. Do you have a good relationship with both your parents?
Kind of. It's kind of fallen off recently, honestly.
Okay.
Mainly because of the amount of stuff that's been happening.
That's going on.
What I've been getting into.
Yeah.
It's there's just a disconnect there.
Because you feel like they won't understand. And I'm going to be honest with you, Chandler.
No.
I have a feeling somebody in the family's got in contact and they're not talking about it. Because for you to get that level of contact.
My dad definitely. Well, I think my dad might have. Because he's told me before that he's seen something as well.
Are you serious?
But he doesn't really like to disclose anything that much.
Ah, so daddy's lineage over there. See? There's always something hidden in the family. See, daddy already told you it's probably coming from him. And I have a feeling, now, I would just ask him if you could, and just for your own curiosity, find out if he's in the military or if he has a brother in the military. Does he have a twin, your father?
No.
He doesn't have a twin. Does he have a brother?
He has many, a lot.
Okay.
But I don't think any of them are in the military. At least I don't think so.
No. Okay. Somebody's dipping in something, and they could be a Mason too. I don't really want to.
Oh, well, one of my cousins are.
Mason?
I think he's associated with.
A Mason.
Masonry.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, like I said, there's smoke, there's fire. Usually it's military, but Masons are not too far away from there. If I know that something like this is happening, it's either they're in the military or it's a Masonic kind of connection, which is one and the same sometimes. So there could be somebody who's dipping and dabbing in something, and they like your genetics, and they're messing with the young people in the family, young males maybe. So we'll find out what it is, okay? But I want you to be okay, and you'll be fine. And believe me, if I can make it through, you'll be just fine. Because if you've seen the wildness that goes on in my life, you think to yourself, I don't know how she copes. I cope because I do, and I want to. And I know that this is whatever is going on with myself as far as the level of contact, there's a reason for it. And because of that, that's why I made this YouTube channel. And if it wasn't for the contact and for you calling in, people like yourself calling in or being supportive of me, I probably would have been quackadoodles. I probably would have lost it a long time ago. Because this is something you don't want to deal with by yourself. You really want others who have same or similar types of contacts so that you can kind of find out what level or what's going on or be able to put pieces of the puzzle together, if that. All right?
All right.
Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
Hope I didn't harass you by calling you. I tend to do that.
No, it's fine. I'm kind of glad that you did call back, so I was able to get all that off my chest and see what it could have been about. But.
Good. They're all sending you love, Chandler, on Cypher, sending you love, and YouTube. They're all really supportive. Okay. So, like I said.
Yeah, I saw the YouTube chat open now. I'm reading it.
Are you? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, check out everybody's saying. So, like I said, don't feel alone. I mean, you already know my journey. I share with you, but like I said, I'll text you Carlos's number, and I'm serious when I say this. And you know what? This is making me realize that maybe it's my time to really do regression as well, to find out, because again, if you're seeing the little things when they put you to sleep. Could you imagine the amount of information? Barry showed me that. He told me that. He said he thought he knew everything that was happening with him, and he didn't realize until he did regression. Oh my gosh. It was like opening up Pandora's box. There was so much going on. So I think it'll be helpful. Just think about it. Listen, I'll send it to you. You don't have to do it, but at least you'll have it. All right?
I'll definitely consider it.
And it'll be fun. Listen, as much as the craziness happens, try to always have a little sense of humor in everything. Because if you don't, you'll lose it. Just always laugh about the madness in the Matrix, because it's a mad, mad world out there. It really is. But try to smile, at least in the process. All right, Chandler?
All right.
You'll be okay.
But thank you so much, though. This is probably the best thing that I could have had this year.
We appreciate you. We're supportive of you, Chandler, and you have us. Utilize the support that you have, because a lot of us didn't even have this. All right? Take advantage of our support. And there's a lot of good people that are part of our family. Really, really good people. And their parents, they're regular people. They're not bots. You know what I mean? They do regular things. They have regular jobs. They're not just in la la land. So just take advantage of that. And I'll send you Carlos's number, and also I'll send you the place's number. And if you feel like hit me up, and just if you want to talk. And you're in my neck of the woods, so maybe we'll have coffee one day. All right?
Okay.
All right, Chandler. Peace out.
Thanks so much. Bye.
All right. Bye. family. Aw, he's so young. I don't want the grays bothering Chandler. We gotta support Chandler. The Sun Star. I gotta protect the Sun Stars. That's, you know what I mean? He's got whatever's going on. Corey went like this. Corey heard about it. Corey went, peace. Corey, do you hear me, Corey? Corey was out. Corey's all about the Anunnaki. If you don't know, now you know. Corey's here for a reason and a season. Oh, yeah, he'll be fine. Chandler, we'll just make sure we support him. Carlos, you're thebomb.com. And Carlos is in Florida by us anyway, so he's not that far away. So maybe I'll bring Carlos up and we'll do, because I bring Carlos up and maybe we'll all do coffee. I know we can all watch the ETs. No, but Chandler needs support, so maybe if he does some regression, we'll be able to do that. So anyway, family, as you see, I'm tired. I've never seen so many glitches. I'm about to go and do a rewind on our show to listen, to try to defrag the voices on and the drum beat. Because I hear a lot of stuff on the phone. We hear reptilians. We see flashes of light. We see beings outside the house. At the same time, something's knocking on the door. Let me say something, family, for both of you, for everybody on YouTube and so on. If you ever get this kind of glitching and something knocks on the door, see, I've learned this. Those movies where you watch those scary movies and like, oh, let me go answer the door in my popcorn or my seaweed. Let me go answer the door. No, because if they didn't call me and tell me they were coming to my house, there's nobody at the door who I need to open to, who's, especially during a show like this, where we're getting all kinds, I'm getting intel on my ear, I'm getting glitches, drum beats. I'm not going to answer the door. So never answer the door. Remember, vampires can only come in if you give them an invitation. There are 0 invitations from FleurBrun. And I make sure that I'm in my bubble outside of Matrix. So the only way vampires come in your house is if you give them an invitation. Anyway, thank you for joining me tonight. You said it's creepy. You've not seen anything creepy. If you thought that was creepy, you guys, but I love that you got I'm happy that you got a chance to see what we go through as contactees, because a lot of times you think we're not about this life, or at least you don't think I'm about this life. I'm about this life. I'm a contactee of ETs. I've heard it, I've seen it, I've experienced it, and there's probably a whole plethora more of stuff that's out there that I'd like to stay out of. I'm just saying, this is what happens, and a lot of you see this happen live, and I think it's just a detail. If you're here right now witnessing this, it was meant for you to see what happens as a contactee. That's why all these people who talk a lot of smack talking about their contact, me and Barry talked about it, they're lying to you. This is what happens to contactees. Every contactee that we know to be in contact with ETs, whether interterrestrials, extraterrestrials, and interdimensionals, this is what happens. It's a fact. I mean, I've heard reptilians on the phone, growling, all kinds of craziness. You heard what happens to a lot of us. And then you see sometimes why we don't sleep, why things go awry. That's what I'm saying. You have to smile and make jokes sometimes when you're going through this. Because if you don't, it'll drive you insane. It really would. You know, so at least you guys all had contact tonight with something that was playing drum beats. After we were talking about, during the time we were talking about the Black Panther. Maybe Wakanda's coming for us. Listen, if Wakanda's got a placement for us in another dimension like Wonder Woman, I'm okay with going to Wakanda as long as they're on the positive side. And I'm going to just tell you something. For those joining me in Brazil, who's to say Wakanda's not where we're going? Anyway. Anyway, family. I'm off. I'm tired now. Wakanda forever, Ada. Hey, Dana. Yeah. Tonight was I struggle. I didn't go on YouTube tonight. YouTube, I'm on. I was supposed to be on Patreon tonight. It shut down Patreon. Shut down all my pages. Maybe it's meant for you guys to listen. Yeah, so it went okay. The show ended up going off all right. I'm going to have to end the show, go to sleep, and sleep off the glitches. Anyway, family, thank you for joining me on Aquarius Rising Ninth Gate. Blog Talk Shut Off. it's an interesting night. The drum beats, I don't know. I've never heard drum beats on the phone. I've heard everything on the phone. I've heard insects on the phone. I've heard growling on the phone. I've heard reptilian high-pitched sounds, low. I've heard all kinds of toning. I've never heard drum. You guys experienced the first for me. I've heard drum beats out now. I've heard drum beats at places where people are buried. I've heard that. But we heard drum beats on that phone tonight, and there was some talking going on. There was communication. So I'm going to, if I'm not so tired, I'm going to go back and then if any of you go back and find anything new or were able to isolate the voices, maybe we'll figure something out. Something was talking on there. There was like, either they were like doing a mantra and it was drums. It was wow. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited about that. That actually I'm excited about. So if anybody gets any reveals or anything like that, do share. Do share with everyone else. You know, we'll break it down. All right, family, I'm out. I'm exhausted. Thank you for joining me on Aquarius Rising Ninth Gate again for another wonderfully overt contact show. That was cool. Anyway, peace, family. Bye, YouTube. Peace. I got you guys on.